happened
But
is
you
the
have,
truth.
but you have not, Joe.
Yes, I have.
But you have not. There's a lot of stuff
You have not told us. I did not.
and we cannot go forward.
I did not.
Again, now we're taking those steps back, okay? We're taking those steps back. And the longer...
All right, this is happening in Tennessee right now. The jury watching back the interrogation / confession of the defendant. He's accused of murdering his own son. Joseph Daniels is the defendant. His son's name, Baby Joe Clyde. His body never found, never recovered, but they've charged him with the murder. And a big piece of the case is the confession. But the jury asked to hear it back during deliberation. So let's take a listen to a little bit more of this, I guess you would call it at this point, because it's being disputed, alleged confession.
You know, the longer it's going to be before we get closure and find a little Joe and start healing. That's, you know, when I say closure, that's what we want to do. Everybody just needs to start healing.
Right.
And in order to do that, the only thing that can start that process is being completely truthful.
Now, I take medicine for my bipolar disorder.
So
I'm telling you some relevant information, okay?
All right, tell me.
Okay. I take that medicine usually an hour before I go to bed. Yeah, I took it about 9 o'clock that night, because my goal was to get to bed at 10. Get them up at 5:30 and get them on the bus. That's 6:25, 6 o'clock, something like that. 11:32, I believe, 11:32, somewhere between 11:30 and 11:40, I got woken up by Alex. Alex told me that Joe had peed on the floor. I went in there and I told Alex, don't worry about it, we'll just put it
See,
back.
those weren't the words that you used. That's not what you call that.
I told him not to worry about it.
I mean, the truth.
I told him not to worry about it.
Tell me the truth. Tell me exactly what you told Alex.
To go back to bed.
Tell me the exact words that you used.
It's hard for me to remember because of the medication that I take.
But you remember. You do. I know you do.
I told him,
I do understand some of that medication, okay? And I know that does not affect your memory. And I know those were not to that degree. I know that those were not the words that you used. And I know that you know what those are. And let's start there. Let that be the baby step. Okay? Let you tell me that.
I went in there. And I'm trying to remember exactly what I'm going to tell you, okay? The truth.
Please do.
Okay, I went into the bedroom. I didn't spank him. I didn't whip him, beat him, or anything like that. But I told him that, to get back in the bed.
You're not going to offend me with words. I need to hear the exact words.
Okay,
I need to hear exactly what you said.
I didn't.
Replay right now as if you're acting it all out.
I told him to get his butt back in the bed.
What else did you say?
All right, I want to bring in criminal defense attorney Steve Greenberg, still with us here tonight. So the issue, I guess, for this jury is looking at this confession. Is it legit? Is it a false confession? False confessions are something I will acknowledge they do exist. I don't know how common they are.
That's an improvement, Vinny.
Because
I saw for you. You're coming around.
I saw one here on Court TV in 2 decades. Anyway, they're re-listening to it. This is a guy who's bipolar. He's been on medication before. He's got a blanket with him here as he's being interrogated and questioned. What are the issues when it comes to false confessions? How do you determine whether or not your client gave a false confession?
Well, I mean, the first way you determine it is by talking to your client. Your client usually tells you that there's some situation that occurred. What are they telling him? So you have to look when you're looking at a confession, what are the investigators telling the person who is confessing? Are they telling him, look, tell us exactly what happened and everything will be okay. You'll be able to go home. We just want to get to the bottom of it. Things like that, where you've got someone like this man who doesn't seem to be all there and has some issues going on. He may believe an investigator, whereas you and I would obviously know if I confess to killing somebody, they're not gonna give me cab fare to go home after I'm done doing that. Look at the suggestiveness in what they're asking. When they first talk to the individual and the individual gives details, are they sketchy? Are they, well, he died and I was there, and then he was strangled. Oh yeah, I put my hand on his neck and there were finger marks. Well, I squeezed really hard. So you have to look at how it went along and how it progressed. And the jurors could be asking to see this for any number of reasons. They could be asking to see it because one of the jurors or more is not convinced he's guilty. They could be asking to see it because all of the jurors are convinced he's guilty and they just want to have a comfort level. So they said, we've invested all this time. Let's take one last look at it. Or they could be asking to see it because they're split. You can't have any idea of what's going on in there.
And now this is a trial where the mother and father have been accused, but they're being tried separately. How do you think that impacts the way the jury looks at this alleged confession?
I mean, it depends on, I haven't seen the whole confession, Vinny, so it depends on what he says he did and what he said she did. The fact that they're tried separately, I don't think it makes much of a difference. Obviously, someone made a statement and someone didn't make a statement, so therefore they have to be tried separately.
So you're in jury deliberations right now. The jury has asked for this readback. Are there ever conversations between the prosecution and defense in moments like this where there's a little bit of uncertainty as to where the jury's going and what they end up doing? And what I'm talking about is some level of a plea deal, because there's still another defendant in this case.
Mm-hmm. Those conversations usually take place when you've got the jurors sending out the notes, hey, we're deadlocked. And even though they get told don't put the votes in there, you'll get a juror note that says we're deadlocked 9-3 or 6-6. It sort of depends. And it depends on what the offer is. I've had cases where my client was looking at a minimum of 45 years. It's been 3 or 4 years in jail awaiting trial. And they come to him and they say, we'll give you 10 years. You only have to serve half of that. You got to really think about that, because you're talking about the difference between a year and 40 years of real time. So those discussions are always take place. I like to tell clients that not only am I an attorney and a counselor, but I'm also on some level a risk manager. Here are your options. Here's what I think. But ultimately, none of us know. If we were all clairvoyant, we'd all be living in Vegas.
Absolutely. Here we go. All right, Steve Greenberg, great to have you with us tonight. Your insight is always appreciated. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Vinny. Have a nice weekend.
All right, we'll keep an eye on what's happening in Tennessee. Meanwhile, still ahead. On the docket tonight in Orange County, Florida, the suitcase murder trial. Sarah Boone accused of locking her boyfriend in a suitcase and recording herself taunting him while he died. We have the shocking video. And in Las Vegas, Nevada, a young couple arrested after they brag and laugh about a murder on social media just after the young woman's father was killed. We break down that video tonight with our law enforcement experts.